Hello, and welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for July of 2023. We are the astrologers of Pandora Astrology. I'm Jamie Kale Miller. I'm in Berkeley, California.
And I'm Julia Mijas, and I'm in San Francisco, California.
Let's take a look at what's happening this month for you. Well, Aquarius, Ceres has been traveling through Libra and Virgo in the last couple of months. And she now finds herself in Libra at the beginning of the month in your ninth house and reapproaching the point at which she turned retrograde back in February. So if you have had a financial rebalancing period where things went awry in your finances, and because Ceres has to do with our life of the body, this could also, or instead, have impacted your health and your eating. And if things got pretty messy and tangled up and out of order and imbalanced in the last couple of months, especially between February and May, then I have to tell you the great news, which is that you're coming out of the woods. It's all straightening out. And from here going forward, whatever it is, whatever solution that you've put into place should hold for, for the rest of the year. So that's some pretty good stuff. And most particularly on the 15th, Ceres does arrive at 6 degrees of Libra, and that's the place where she went retrograde. So at that point, I mean, you may have heard us talk about like Mercury's shadow period. This is even better than that. So when Mercury gets out of his shadow period, things get a lot simpler, and Ceres is well out of her shadow period and just putting a total end to all of the messes of the last couple of months. Now, and this has been happening in your ninth house, which has really called into question some of your beliefs, maybe deeply held beliefs and philosophies about money, about values, about your own worth, and also about how you should eat and be in your body. And so you've probably made some pretty big changes in those arenas. And if you put some positive beliefs in place, then there's no reason why your money can't grow going forward. So pretty good stuff there. Now, Juno is in Cancer, traveling along through your 6th house. She's an asteroid goddess to do with committed relationships, marriage, and partnerships of all kinds, for personal or business reasons. She's in Cancer, which makes her pretty warm-hearted right now, pretty nurturing, and she's traveling through your 6th house. So this is a really good time and even an important time for getting better organized with your partner in whatever arenas you share. For example, if it's your spouse, then getting things better organized around the home that you share, getting some better systems into place for your health, for your nutrition, and just to, keep things cleaner and feel also like these systems are being run in a more equitable way, because Juno really likes it when things are happening like that. And then if it's in your place of business and it's a business partner, then, setting up good systems at work and managing your employees together in a good way and really feeling a sense of teamwork in that environment. Now I want to talk about Chiron, which is traveling along through Aries and which goes retrograde this month on July 23rd. And Chiron is the wounded healer. And so Chiron brings us on a healing journey. And every year when Chiron goes retrograde, he spends several months traveling backwards and taking us on that ever deepening healing journey. Now, often wherever Chiron is traveling through, you'll find yourself experiencing triggers of old wounding that you have there that maybe you even completely forgot about. This Chiron is traveling through your third house, which is a house of intelligence, of learning, and communication. It's also a house of the people right around you that you may have superficial but frequent contact with, such as your siblings, especially when you're growing up, such as your neighbors in your home of adulthood, or even your siblings as you age. So it's those people that you may see frequently, but feel like it's not necessarily the deepest relationship. So this is the house of your neighborhood. So with Chiron going retrograde in this house and also being in Aries, it wouldn't be surprising if there are upsets and anger that you have to deal with, either your own anger, or maybe a neighbor gets angry, or you have a conflict with a sibling. These are the sorts of things that can crop up, and it can remind you of stuff that seems really, really old, but now is an excellent opportunity to heal it, and not just heal it, what's going on now, but to heal it forever going forward so that you can release baggage. So if you have baggage with siblings or with neighbors, or just in the feeling of living in a neighborhood in general, this could be a time when that gets healed, which can be a beautiful thing. Hey, Julia, what's up with the inner planets for Aquarius this month?
Well, hey there, Aquarius. Happy July. Lots of stuff going on in your seventh house of romantic relationship this month, as well as the seventh house represents your business partners anytime you find yourself in a partnership with anybody. And it's also the house of consultants, the people you hire for advice. So Mars, the planet of action and activity, starts off in your seventh house. It's going to be there for the first 10 days of the month, where things might be getting a little feisty between you and your partner. Maybe you guys are having more disagreements. Maybe they're annoying you. This can also apply to business partners as well. But this transit is fabulous for getting a lot of work done with a partner. So, maybe you can, for example, go out for a jog or a rigorous hike with your romantic partner. Maybe you can really hit the books with your business partner. But a lot of stuff can be done with Mars in the seventh. Just be a little aware of the conflict that can come with this aspect. Then by July 10th, Mars enters your eighth house, where it's going to be for the rest of the month. This is a house of shared finance. So the money that you share with your romantic partner or even your business partner. The eighth house can even be the money you share with your family, such as through an inheritance. It's also known as the house of loans and investments. It rules things like taxes and crypto too. With Mars in the eighth house for most of the month, you could feel really driven to increasing your money in some way, either through somebody else like your business partner or family member, or through your own investments. Now, this might not be the best time to apply for a loan or to really get successful in growing your money. However, since this is also an eighth house, the eighth house also represents research. This would be a really great time to just do a lot of work researching what you can do. And then maybe later on, when Venus comes into this house, that's going to be a better time for action. But yeah, this is a good time. Just research, work hard, and learning how you can invest better. And this is a fabulous way of using Mars in the eighth house. However, it can sometimes mean running into conflict and disagreements over shared finances too. Now, Mercury, the planet that represents your mind, communication, it's moving very fast. So it's going to be in 3 houses this month. It starts off in your 6th house of work, organization, and health, where you can actually really apply yourself to getting your life in a lot of order at the beginning of the month, especially at the workplace. If your work involves buying, selling, teaching, writing, public speaking, this can be a very good transit for you because those are all things that Mercury represents. And your mind can also be on health matters too this month at the beginning with Mercury in the 6th. By July 10th, Mercury enters your 7th house. And this is when Mars leaves the 7th house. Mercury's coming in here. And that's actually going to take a little bit of pressure off your relationship. Mercury in the 7th house, it means that you're going to be wanting to connect and communicate more with your partner. Maybe even connect a lot more in terms of sharing ideas, strategies, planning with them. And if you're single, this can mean that you're thinking a lot about your next relationship too. Then by July 28th, Mercury enters the 8th house, joining Mars, bringing a little bit of Mercury's intelligence and strategy and ability to articulate itself well into 8th house matters. And again, those are shared finances. So with Mercury in the 8th, this is really going to help at the end of the month with Mars's need to kind of research and deep dive on how you can improve your investments, maybe what type of loans or grants you should be applying for. Mercury in the 8th house is really, really great for especially any type of research writing. If you happen to be in school, can be an excellent time for this. And, might be a good time to hire a financial planner too, actually, and talk things over with them. Now, finally, we have Venus. She is a lot easier than Mars. She's the planet that represents relationships, but also pleasure and beauty. And she's going to spend all month in your 7th house. So, and the reason why she's spending all month here is because she's actually going to be doing a retrograde cycle by the end of the month. So she's going to actually spend quite a bit of the summer here. Now, when Venus is in the 7th, it's a great place to have Venus. It can bring a little bit of pleasure and harmony to your relationship. That can also help mitigate some of the more feisty vibes that Mars is bringing in here early in the month. Venus in the 7th is also very good if you're single and you're looking to meet somebody new, looking to sort of branch out. It can also be a great time for getting along really, really well with your business partner and hiring really excellent people to really help you out, whether that's a doctor, a lawyer, a financial planner, etc. But by July 22nd, Venus is going to go retrograde in this house. Now, if you're currently in a relationship, this is for everyone, actually, this is a time of relationship review. And if you're currently in a relationship, then you're going to just be reviewing how you guys harmonize together as a couple. This is a very romantic house. So you can just be kind of looking at each other in terms of like what each of you romantically brings to the table. Now, if you're single, this could be a time where you are really reviewing what you want in your next relationship. If you're actively dating right now, I would say when Venus is retrograde, don't make a firm commitment right away because you might want to redo, another date in another time and place. I would just say don't make a super commitment right now, if you can. And you might even find that there are people you dated a long time ago that start popping up out of nowhere, that maybe you want to start redating somebody. That would actually be a good use of this transit. If there was somebody maybe from a little while ago that you're interested in connecting again during a Venus retrograde to the 7th house, that can be a good time for making that connection all over again.
So funny how those things pop up when Venus goes retrograde.
Oh, yes.
Hi, Jamie here. Horoscopes and moon videos are fascinating, but they're more general than personal. Did you know we run live workshops monthly and that you can get questions answered about your own chart there? This month's topic is harvesting your Jupiter luck, and in it you can find out when is the next time you'll have money luck, career luck, or relationship luck, or even a period of personal charisma that makes you especially persuasive and attractive to opportunity like a magnet. This workshop is expressly for our Tier 2 Patreon subscribers. It's easy to sign up at the Patreon link in the description below. I'd love to see you there. Now let's get back to the video.
Well, I've got a couple of moons to tell you about, Aquarius. The first one is a full moon in Capricorn in your 12th house, right here, and it's opposite Sun, Mercury, and Juno here in Cancer. And a full moon is a time when emotions can run high. It's often something that creates dynamics that can play out in relationships where one person will take on one of the two poles of this polarity and the other person is sort of pulled into the opposite role. Now, the moon in Capricorn is not necessarily the happiest. This moon is in the sign opposite to its own nature. And so instead of being emotional and expressive and really feeling and really being intuitive, the moon in Capricorn can sometimes try to clamp down on emotions, not have emotions, or stuff them away where they're not going to be felt. But the opposition to these Cancerian placements would absolutely pull towards intuition And we're calling this moon Grow Your Emotional Intelligence because of this balance, and because there's more water influence here than there is earth, in the form of these three Cancerian placements and also Saturn in Pisces. So even though that moon might want to clamp down on emotions, and being in the 12th house, it wouldn't be surprising if you were having some feelings and you wanted to go and like retreat to a place of solitude and comfort and soothe yourself by being alone and not having your feelings where other people can see them. And if you're that kind of person, you know, and that's generally been your approach to feelings thus far, then this moon would probably pull you into that very introverted place. However, there's so much harmony in this moon that really helps. There's a lovely trine to Jupiter, and there's also a lovely sextile to Saturn, suggesting that you can grow your awareness and your allowing emotions to be expressed under a moon like this, and with the help of somebody else who, you know, provides so much sympathy and warmth and nurture that it just kind of pulls you out of your shell. So you can grow an emotional and social intelligence too under a moon like this one. This one is happening on the 3rd. And you might even be surprised to discover that some of that nurture and sympathy comes from coworkers, because the Sun, Mercury, and Juno are here in your 6th house. So the second moon of this month is happening on the 17th. And it lands right here in your 6th house. And it's really part of how at the beginning of this month, there's so much going on in your 6th house, really emphasizing this area of work, health, service, and personal organization. So you might find that a lot of your attention is on how can you live with healthy habits, and how can you be organized at work and home, and how can you optimize your behavior in the workplace to be as efficient and as effective as possible. And so this moon is also capable of planting some great seeds that can lead to future experiences that better your work life. We're calling this one Brilliant Psychic Insights, and it's really a very intuitive moon. It features the moon in Cancer, at home in Cancer. It's a new moon, which generally signals new beginnings, the planting of seeds, which we don't see results from right away. They're going to play out over time. Now, this moon opposes Pluto, and that brings in a kind of a deeper vibe, a heavier vibe, and it might even pit you against somebody who seems like they're trying to control your emotions or your behaviors or your intuitions. But you don't have to just take that. There's such a lovely trine to Neptune and a lovely sextile to Uranus that it does suggest that intuition is very strong and very easily validated and strongly felt during this moon. I will say that there is a square to Chiron, which does bring up its own kind of messes, as I described before, that Chiron is traveling along through your 3rd house, and you might be feeling a little wounded in your neighborhood, or even in your relationships with siblings, or feeling a little broken in your intelligence, like not so smart, perhaps. Not that this is the truth, but it might be up for you right now. And during this moon, though, there is the potential of healing, and there is the potential of great psychic insights coming up to the surface, and coming from just a purely intuitive place and having that validated. And so that can be a wonderful feeling and a great way to move forward. And then the last thing I want to tell you about is that after all of this energy going on in your 6th house of work, planets then proceed to move on into your 7th house, most particularly the Sun. And here it is, lands in your 7th house by July 23rd. And when the Sun changes signs, it's like we enter into a new month with an entirely new theme, and we call this a season. So this is a seasonal change, And the sun will spend about 30 days in your 7th house, bringing a lot of your attention to your relationships. So the preoccupation with work is going to fade about 2/3 of the way through the month. And you're going to find yourself wanting to put a lot of your vital energy into your relationships and your partnerships. And it's a really good time to applaud and praise your partners and shine the light of your highest quality attention on them, and just let them know all the ways that they are winning with you and in life, not against you, because, you know, win-win is a thing. And this can be such a great transit for having fun with your partner and really lightening things up, and bringing doing some creative collaboration as well. So the sun is going to be moving along through your 7th house for about 30 days starting July 23rd. And it's just such a good time for putting your high quality attention here into your partnerships and making them so much better.
Well, that's all for today. If you love Pandora Astrology's free and informative horoscopes, then please do hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and share our horoscopes with your friends.
You can find out so much more about how this month's transits affect you in very personal timing in our monthly Patreon workshops. Find the link in the description below to get started. Enjoy your summer, and until next time, we'll see you around the cosmos.
Bye-bye.